Mark arrives by spewing the most disgusting, toe-curling, thigh-drenching, brain-shrinking, skull-crawling, spine-snapping sexual innuendos at Ellie. I am talking... This man is disgusting.
Yeah, and
This man...
you scored 100% on every option BDSM test except age.
Yeah, because that's gross.
Mark is gross.
Mark is grosser.
And
into that, Mark is into anything.
he's also really good at chess.
He is quite good at chess.
Welcome back to the Unreal Press podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Labuschagne. And today I googled "It Hurts" and got a lot of results completely unrelated to what I think is one of the best webcomics of, the internet. It is a webcomic that you can read. And so today I'm doing a bit of a retrospective from it, a /CO blast from the past. And I've brought on Anarchist Flash to discuss it with me because he was around.
Hey, how's it going, folks? I'm Anarchist.
Yeah. And so today we're knocking back a couple of shots of Chacha, which is, how you have beer and then you have Marmite, which is what's left over once you make beer? Imagine if you had that with wine, and then you could ferment that. Well, you can, and the Georgians, our friendly Caucasian friends who aren't actually white, have managed to do this. The result is Chacha. It's like Fanta grape, except it's not purple, because they use the purple for methylated spirits.
And twice as bad for you.
L'chaim.
Slanchava, my friend.
So, man, what is It Hurts?
It hurts. Fuck's sakes, where to start? You actually introduced me to this comic.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, I still remember the day. We were, hanging out at my place, playing really shitty random runs of Project Zomboid. It was, the Chad Thundercock and, Commissioner Gordon arc.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Ratkin
that
Creed
kind
was
of
there too. And, you were like, hey man, we were talking about shitty webcomics in between runs. Yeah. Like, we were talking about, I was mostly talking about gay shit because I was on a really big arc of that. I was talking about, like, transfusions and spurs and stripes, which, while we're talking about podcast recommendations, if you're into that kind of thing, transfusions, I highly recommend it. Gay vampire boys, very cute. Check it out.
Okay.
And you said to me, hey, Anarchist, if you're into webcomics, and if you got the kind of awful sense of humor you do, and you're into Green Day, then boy, have I got the podcast for you. And you said, check this out, and pulled up the front page of It Hurts.
Shit, I did that? I mean, I remember that day, not very well granted, because I think we were really high. So, I remember the term transfusions, but it's like the same way you remember something when you're blackout drunk. Did you personally experience it, or was it revealed to you in a dream? Go on.
Well, it was a bizarre first read, because you showed it to me.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this is crazy. The front page is pretty normal, but it's also one of those wall of text front pages of a webcomic, where the comic artist just establishes, hey, this is the concept, this is the core conceit, and this is my sense of humor. Here's a wall of incredibly spurious text for you to understand what this is going to be about. And I put it off for a little bit because I had other things on my mind at the time.
I'm flattered.
And then, about a month or so later, I started reading it properly.
Okay.
And I chewed my way through it in a day.
Shit, man. I think I've read one thing in a day, and that was American Gods. And that was a low point in my life.
The thing about media for me is that I know, because of my weird ADHD autism brain, if I put something down, I'm not going to pick it up for a while.
Right.
So for a lot of things, if I think I'm going to like it, I'll do it now.
Mm-hmm.
So webcomics, books, video games, if I can, I'll blast through them in a day. Like, I recently picked up Devil May Cry 5. Notoriously long, lots of content. Chewed through it in 12 hours.
Shit, that's impressive. It's commitment.
Someone recommended to me Brandon Sanderson novels. I've heard a lot about the guy and he's writing. Hard magic systems, interesting politics, good world building. All these things have been said about Sanderson.
Yeah, depth. It is depth.
Depth. It's very deep.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say it's more thick
Yeah, it's not like a book you read, it's a book you sort of scuba through.
It's very long on the Z-axis.
Yes.
And the one recommended to me was the first one, Way of Kings,
All right.
of the Stormlight series. And I chewed through that one in 10 hours.
Huh.
Because a buddy of mine has a archive of pirated books
Yeah.
on his own private server
As you do.
that he gave me access to. It's mostly coding textbooks that he's stolen from his college.
Man among men.
Real man amongst men. Like, I love the guy. He's awesome. Real nerd. But he also has a bunch of fantasy stuff that he likes. He's like, hey, Anarchist, you're into that there fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Because he's one of the players in a D&D game I'm also a player in.
As happens.
As happens. Like, he's one of those guys that only knows me by my handle.
Right.
Like, hey, Anarchist, if you're into fantasy, I highly recommend Brandon Sanderson. And as a segue into giving you access to my personal archive, which is...
It's a bro move.
It's a bro move. Like, I feel included in his life.
Yes. Right. And so how does this then relate back to It Hurts?
It relates back to It Hurts. Thanks for getting me back on topic. Relates back to It Hurts, mostly by virtue of me having consumed it all in one day and then gone back multiple times for more.
Okay.
Because it's got that kind of story that even after you know all the twists that are going to happen, you still want to see them happen.
Yeah.
Which is something that doesn't happen or come about very often for me.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. It's, for reference, It Hurts, and I'm quoting from the TV Tropes page, which, unless you're using like Mozilla Firefox, which I refuse to use because they did not make the avatar a furry. I'm not a furry, personally. Nothing against furries, except a lot of things. They do not make it a furry, and that offends me on like a spiritual level.
If they weren't cowards, the logo would be a furry.
Yes. And
it'd be hot as well.
Rule 34 of it. But
fantastic.
No. So,
there already is, though.
Yeah, I mean, but that's like a different point. Anyway, so yeah, I go on DuckDuckGo, which I still have installed on my laptop because, and I go to TV Tropes because that's the easiest way to actually access this webcomic. I'll link the real thing in the description. You don't have to touch TV Tropes. That thing's a time waster. It's like the Wheat-Bix. You know how Wheat-Bix steals your milk? TV Tropes steals your time.
It's bizarre. I love it.
Yeah, and you have nothing to show for it except trivia.
Just like Wheat-Bix, by stealing your time, it makes it all the more rich.
Yes. And so TV Tropes
fiber
says, quoting Gobolatula, who is the guy who writes this, sometimes draws it. It's complicated. And he says, this is a webcomic about a silly boy riddled with depression and anxiety named Pasquale Trenglini, and how he finds his first love, a mysterious yet super kind girl named Aurora. Pasquale also has lots of friends, including his best friend Allison, who's a dirty little munchkin, and Tubbsy, who's a chilled out big fat dude. Over time, strange, crazy things start happening, and before you know it, the whole world changes.
And boy, does it.
It actually qualifies the italics in the voice.
Okay, question. Are we going to be talking about the twist, page 100?
Spoilers are fair game.
Okay. Everyone listening to this, spoiler warning. This is your final warning. After this, I'm going to be talking about shit that happens towards the end of the webcomic. And if you don't like that...
fuck you.
Pause right now, read it. I did it in 12 hours. You can too. And then come back here if you care enough to listen.
Okay, presuming you're back.
Welcome back. Hi.
Hi, welcome back to the Unreal Press podcast. I'm Labuschagne, and today I'm knocking back a shot of Cajetian Chacha, which is a Georgian liqueur quite similar to Mampuro Grappa. I'm being joined by my friend Anarchist Flash, and today we're going to be discussing one of my personal favorite indie webcomics, It Hurts.
Hi, welcome back. So, assuming you've just gone and read the entire webcomic, we can move forward. Thanks for the intro, LA.
You're more than welcome.
Now, It Hurts is, as the description stated, about Pasquello.
Yes.
Who is a cute little blonde middle schooler who is insanely wretched with depression. Like, he is miserable. He hates existence.
Yeah.
Pasquello's first words are, "Oh my god, I am so sad and depressed," I'm pretty sure.
It's like that's the first real thing he says. He says a few swears before that.
Well, yeah, the first thing he does is cuss out Ellison.
As one does.
And call her a dyke.
I see it.
In an incredibly roundabout, funny way, comparing her to a vintage baseball player. I had to Google who that guy was. What's the name he used again? I can't remember. It was insanely funny. I was like, Lenny Dijkstra, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you actually know who Lenny Dijkstra is, this is a very funny joke. Comparing this tiny trash gremlin Allison to that guy
Yes.
in a roundabout way to call her a lesbian is funny. And then they cuss the absolute balls out of each other, just verbally berate each other to death.
Yes.
And then Pasquale says, "Oh wait, I forgot. I've been depressed for months. I'm sad." And that's the basic structure of the webcomic for the first couple chapters. The characters arrive on scene. They say a bunch of funny swear words and insult each other in highly creative ways.
Sometimes there's violence.
Sometimes there is cartoon violence, and Pasquale is sad.
Yeah.
And then, slowly, the art style starts to get better.
It doesn't get good until you're too invested in the story to actually care about the art. But it actually improves. It's like, normally I say, if it's shit, don't bother in the beginning. It was like, I'm the firm believer that I would not eat a bowl of dog shit before eating a chocolate cake. And while I have done some pretty eccentric food experiments, not limited to caterpillars, actual bleach, molasses, and a rare Nigerian delicacy called palm wine, which I'm convinced is they're just fucking with us and it's not actually drinkable. But like, if it's shit, don't continue. But no, this is like the one exception, because at least the shit art is kind of cute.
The shit art has that Newgrounds charm.
Yeah.
It looks like something that would have been on the front page of Newgrounds at the time, but this came out on /co, which is totally different.
Somehow this is on /co, and I mean, if you're from the Chans, in which case, aware, fags, nice. But it's also, for the rest of the people, who are gainfully employed and for some reason watch this, it's not like infected with 4chan. You can tell it's got the influences, but it's also like, you will watch this at work, you will read it at work, and you'll get fired for reading comics at work. You won't be arrested.
Yeah, and you can tell that the artist is one of LA's tribe, because his current and longtime profile pic on his own website is a scanty and knee socks render. Incredibly based, I will agree. I was more of a panty and stocking kind of guy myself.
Yeah.
I love the OG girls. Whoop Whoop Season 2, am I right?
It'll happen!
It is happening, it's confirmed.
Wait, fuck, it's actually confirmed?
It's confirmed.
Fuck, dude, get another bottle.
They got the IP back. Didn't you hear about this?
No, I don't care about this. I only browse A for the waifus.
Well, I got this off Twitter.
You see, I'm not on Twitter because I refuse to follow. Not the gin. Hurt me. This will not be cut, by the way. I'll say. Another bottle of Chacha, aged in oak.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, Season 2 of Panty and Stocking confirmed because Trigger Studios got the IP back.
Well, that's based.
They also got the IP back for Space Battleship Yamato.
Nice.
And a bunch of the old Gynax stuff. And they're gonna be remaking a ton of it with all the new Trigger talent.
Wow, that's fucking phenomenal.
Like, you've seen Promare, right?
Yeah.
All of the talent behind Promare, that whole team is gonna be working on the new Panty and Stocking season.
Well, let's cheers to that.
Let us cheers to that, my friend.
That is the sound of alcohol.
Gotta love it, friends.
This is the sound of hangovers.
Gotta love it.
I haven't had a good hangover since Monday.
Isn't it Monday today? At time of recording, friends, it is Monday. A Monday.
I'm not saying I think I have a problem because I don't think.
Slanja to that.
L'chaim. And that is the sound of friendship.
Indeed. Friendship long forged, horribly tested, well appreciated.
Yes.
So It Hurts is trash at first.
Yeah.
It has all the hallmarks of a short-lived flash-in-the-pan /co comic until it starts to get good, which is what caught me by surprise.
Yes.
Because in the first couple episodes, Pasquale and Allison are confronted by a bully who is, surprise, surprise, gay, and tells them off for using homophobic slurs. And they genuinely repent and
Yeah.
say, hey, we're going to not do that anymore. And this is the comic artist saying, hey, and this made a lot of people on Code drop it.
Yeah, because, like, on the one hand, you can say, oh, but on the other hand, look, shock humor doesn't actually make things better. And
Shock
it also just
humor,
showed such a weird level of maturity.
shock culture in general died with G.G. Allen.
Yeah.
And it should stay dead with G.G. Allen.
Yeah. It's like, as much as I think Wang secretly wants it, Goatsy will not be a thing again.
Yeah. Wang really wants it, mostly for content, but also because I think he's into it.
I'd understand that. He's got that vibe. I remember the soap commercial he did.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he said, oh, if you want these in your shower. And he had to very quickly clarify the soaps, not the men using them. But anyway, yeah, they stopped using slurs, and it's like the growing the beard, to quote TV tropes, where if you find this yourself, this is where you'll come from.
But surprisingly enough, that wasn't a total change of direction. They still drop at least 4 F-bombs per strip.
Yeah.
Everyone still berates the shit out of each other. They swear more than I do, which is an achievement.
Yeah.
I say balls at least twice a day.
You've said balls, like, we've been here binge drinking for like 3 hours, and you've said it 8 times.
I like saying balls.
It's a fun word.
Especially in conjunction with cock and balls, because that's just a funny, single, truncated word to say.
Yeah, man. It's like, I think I know why Spirit Science keeps harping on about that, but that's a different episode.
That's a different episode. You should get me on for that as well. I think it'll be fun. But after It Hurts matures, it starts getting good. Pasquale starts to be more than a ha 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 I am so depressed character. He starts to be a character with an abusive dad who has some of the longest, most absolutely painful monologues I've ever seen in comic history.
It's like there's not a lot of stuff you skim, but you read that once, you internalize it, and then you think, Gobalatula, he fucking hurt you, bruh.
Let's talk about Pasquale's dad quick.
That man is a king among men and a man among kings.
A man among kings, king amongst men, as you said, but also, if I met him on the street, I would spit in his hat.
Yeah, he's just a fucking rat bastard.
He is... No, at least rats have class.
Rats serve a purpose.
Rats are self-grooming creatures.
Yes.
I don't think Equilateral Triangolini has ever bathed in his life.
It's not Equilateral Triangolini, it's Obtuse Angelo Triangolini.
It's Obtuse Angelo Triangolini.
Yes.
I knew it was a stupid geometry joke.
Yeah.
Because who else would name their kid Pasquello?
This was revealed, I think, in the sequel comic that his name is Obtuse Angelo. Yeah.
By the way, this is a comic with sequels. 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, the...
And an animation project. Did that ever pan out?
No.
Ah, what a shame.
If you browse through the comic, you can find the one thing where it's linked and it's really fucking good, but it's so good it's just unviable. It's like the original Has-Been Hotel.
Yeah.
They tried too hard.
Yeah. I didn't mind the Has-Been art style change, unlike a lot of people who were really butthurt about that.
I mean, what I'm thankful for, we got the other one. We got Hell of a Boss.
Which is great.
Yep.
For many reasons.
Yes. So I'm fine. I'd rather have that than Has-Been Hotel because, this is literally a scenario of the devil you know.
Yeah, literally.
Yes, but anyway, speaking of, the guy with the other devil profile pic, God Damn It is the prequel, which I have not read because it's kind of hard to find, even for, It Hurts hard to find. But the sequel is Please Forgive Me. And my opinion on the sequel, because I will eventually do it.
It didn't go anywhere. It said, hey, this is the comic. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
As I just said, the thesis statement of It Hurts.
Yep.
All good comics do their thesis statement on the first page. And then it did that thesis statement again on the second page.
Yep.
And the third page and the fourth page. And it kept saying, hey, here's us.
Yeah.
How's it going? I'm Mike Ma. This is the comic that I do.
Yeah, they didn't bust the nut.
Exactly. I've been getting this stale handjob for 8 pages now.
Yeah, it's like you're in a Skrillex concert and you're waiting for the beat and it just doesn't drop until you realize this is the dropless beat Skrillex concert.
It's not even Skrillex anymore. He left.
Yeah.
He got in his limo and drove through the crowd, killing several people, took a left turn and is currently in hot pursuit by the police in another city, and he just left the beat on repeat while you're standing there gormless in a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, the Horley Shorley bit was actually, had soul, and that soul with capital letters and a V instead of the U. But the rest of it, I mean, if you want more Go Tula, go ahead. But otherwise, like, yeah.
It Hurts is one of the few comics that ends on a very satisfying conclusion.
Yes, it was done.
It ends succinctly, it's over, and I'm happy with the ending.
You can't want more.
A lot of comics that have a definite ending make that a tragic ending.
Yes.
Where you're like, oh no, everyone's dead, and the ones that survived are horribly traumatized.
Yeah.
No. Somehow, Tula found a way to make everyone horribly traumatized and put these characters through terrible things for growth, and still end with everyone happy and healthy, as if the comic had just started over.
Yeah, it was a bittersweet ending, and I think that really stands for it. The only one I can name offhand, like webcomics, that got close to that was On We Go.
Close, yeah.
Like part 1 of On We Go, because part 2 is basically part 2
going on.
Yeah, the guy decided, maybe if I stop drawing porn, I can tell a story. And I'm very happy he stopped drawing porn, because the second one has child characters on it.
Yeah, thank God he stopped.
Thank God they have a black hole. That's literally the other comic. That's the porn comic.
Yeah.
But yeah, On We Go part 1 ended at the right time. They'd done the stories, finished the arcs, and they got absolutely everything they could out of those side characters.
Yeah. Like, in terms of satisfying endings, the closest in tone to the It Hurts ending I can think of is the ending of Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Yep.
Where the characters have completed their arcs. Characters that didn't make it to the ending are remembered and honored.
Yep.
Characters that did make it to the ending are living the lives they always thought they would, or lives we didn't think they would, but that fit in character and are satisfying. And everything is fine. It's all okay. That is such a rare thing to me in endings, I think.
And I think it's one thing that's very much undervalued is to do a happy ending, but a happy ending that's earned.
Thinking of it, actually, Trigger does a lot of those good bittersweet endings. Think of Kill la Kill, Promare, even Darling in the Franxx had a pretty good bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
Where people are happy, there were losses, there was trauma, bad things did happen, but we're alive.
Yes.
We're alive, and we have each other, and things are okay.
Yep.
And It Hurts hits that, which I love. It Hurts also hits a lot of those midpoint, big arcs that I love.
Yes, which I think is, personally, I did not enjoy the conclusion arc to It Hurts. I mean, I'll still recommend it because enjoyment is a matter of personal taste. And I've been told by multiple people whose opinions I respect that I have bad taste, which is probably why I do a podcast that came out of 4chan.
I mean, your taste is... I see your taste as the perpendicular arc on the axis to my taste.
Yes.
I'm on the up-down axis, you're the left-right axis.
I want it to be the up-down axis.
You can be on top if you want to.
Oh, thank you.
And by this axis and these two arcs, we can measure good and bad taste.
Yes.
So, if someone is highly LA and highly anarchist, they have objectively awful taste.
This is true.
If someone likes the things that you like and the things I like...
The Venn diagram of the things we like is like It Hurts and highly questionable media.
Yeah, like a lot of really bad anime.
Yeah, like if you're into that, that's cool, but it can't be the only thing you're into.
Exactly. If those are the only things you're into, I'm not your friend.
Yeah, it's like you can like Rin, but you have to like things that are very different from Rin.
Exactly. You have to enjoy the things around Rin as well.
Yes.
If you can't tell me about a Stolfo, then I don't think you even like Fate.
And it's like, if you're one of those people who've only seen Fate Collide, I have two questions for you.
One, are you even a human? Were you born in a lab and fed Fate Collide through your infogram injections?
Like, are you actually the homunculus from Fate Apocrypha? Are you that guy?
Worse, they're the homunculus from Full Metal Alchemist. A little creature that has known only suffering and hates the world.
I could see how being forced to consume all of Fate Collide would do that to you.
Even worse is the guy I met that had only seen Fate Collide Prisma Ilia.
Yes.
Only Prisma Ilia. Nothing else.
I mean, the sequels are where it gets
Didn't
different.
Know there was other Fate.
Why do you think it had the long title then?
Thought Fate Collide Prisma Ilia was just the title of the anime. And that's it.
I mean, that's a guy.
And Fate Stay Night was another studio's ripoff.
That's a... I almost want to say that this is Chad. But it's also, like, Fate Collide.
I struggle to accept this person's humanity.
Yes. No, like this... But, I mean, look. Ironically, I saw Fate Collide as my first Fate thing. Not because I was looking for lollies, but because I was looking for magical girls.
I started on 0.
Right.
Mostly because it came highly recommended.
Yes.
I'd always wanted to get into Fate because people are always hyping up Fate.
Yes.
And obviously Fate has great waifus.
It has excellent waifus.
People talk huge game about Rin.
Yes.
All the time. She's constantly in the top tier. Always a meta pick.
Yeah.
One of the best blushes in the game. At the same time, though, Mordred.
Yes.
And at the same time, Astolfo.
Yes. I think there's a very different kind of personality between the guys who make Astolfo husbando and the guys who make Astolfo wife.
Husbando Astolfo is the only correct way.
Yes.
Because people who actually watch Fate know if you misgender Astolfo, he will murder you.
Yes.
Brutally.
But speaking of husbandos and waifus, the characters of It Hurts, what do you have to say about that?
So, It Hurts has a very tight core group. It has a lot of characters, as most webcomics do. As the webcomic goes on, the cast branches out,
Yes.
right? New characters are introduced, old characters leave. Bad webcomics don't have that second one.
Yes.
In a bad webcomic, characters don't leave.
Yeah. They
It
just
Hurts isn't
hang around.
scared
Well,
of getting rid of characters.
that was one of the things that I thought, okay, this is something special. Because it killed a character, they just fucking stay dead.
Alright, so spoilers.
Yes, we've done.
We've already warned the spoilers, so
We've
let's
done the
talk
gag.
about it. The core group at the beginning of the comic is Pasquello,
Yes.
who is small, scrawny, blonde, and sad.
Yes.
Ellie, who is a tiny trash gremlin of indeterminate ethnicity.
Probably black.
Probably black. She says so herself. That's like the running joke. She's adopted by a Jewish family. She's kind of black, so she thinks she's got the N-word pass, but isn't entirely sure.
That you have the exact same thing happen in the second part of On We Go with the same character.
Yeah.
In which props, it's a good character.
Ellie is a bit of a stereotype, but we love her.
It's a stereotype done well.
Yeah. Attached to Pasquello and Ellie, who are the core duo,
Yes.
are Pasquello's girlfriend, Aurora,
Yes.
who arrives out of literal nowhere.
What surprised me so much about Aurora was her surname is like Boreanaz, which, obviously it's Aurora Borealis because she's
That's the
literal
joke.
Aurora. But I just thought it like, okay, she's Hispanic.
Yeah, I thought, okay, she's like kind of Hispanic, exotic, cute.
She's like your girlfriend who lives in Canada.
She's like the girlfriend of everyone's middle school dreams.
Yes.
And she arrives and immediately starts dating Pasquello, and he's incredibly happy.
I mean, the girlfriend of my middle school dreams was Ali, which is, But go on.
It says a lot. I thought it was Samira.
No, that was another guy's girlfriend who I stole.
It's still the girl of your dreams, though.
That was like a girl of a daydream. That was an intentional thing.
We miss you, Morrow. Love you.
Yeah, this episode is dedicated to Samira. If you know who Samira is, you're
Love
an OG.
You.
Anyway, characters.
Aurora, who is amazing.
Yeah.
Very good for Pasquello. A very healthy relationship they have.
Yeah.
They make each other very happy, and I love them.
Yeah, they're wholesome.
They're an incredibly wholesome canon ship.
Yeah.
And friends of the pair are Tubbsy, who is the aforementioned big fat guy.
He's the man king.
Who is incredibly chill. An absolute bro.
Just punched some guy's skull right over his face.
We'll get to that. Mentor to everyone around him. Protector of the gang. Tubbsy is my hero.
Yeah.
And also Mark.
Mark.
Let's talk about Mark.
Every little shitbag you knew in high school or
Middle school, high school, even college, there are Marks.
Yeah. I knew a couple of Marks in my freshman year.
Mark arrives on the scene by spewing one of Gobi Latula's famous monologues. A lot of characters in this comic arrive by dropping monologues. Just a page-long wall of text.
You know who they are, and it's better than that obnoxious thing fucking light novels do where they just tell you.
Exactly. Mr. Trianglini has his opening monologue berating Pasquello brutally.
Just for being there.
Calling him a failure, just being horrible and abusive. Mark arrives by spewing the most disgusting, toe-curling, thigh-drenching, brain-shrinking, skull-crawling, spine-snapping sexual innuendos at Ellie. I am talking... This man is disgusting. And this is me saying this.
Yes. And
this man...
You scored 100% on every option in the BDSM test except age play.
Yeah, because that's gross.
Mark is grosser.
Mark is grosser.
And into that.
And into that. Mark is into anything.
He's also really good at chess.
He is quite good at chess. You could grab Mark's face and press it against a hot lamp bulb, searing through his cheek until you can see his teeth through the cross-section of his face, and he would be painfully erect.
That happened.
Yeah, well, it's implied.
Yeah.
This is the core group, and they get along to have a lot of hijinks, until Mark pushes a little too far, and Tubbsy says, "Hey, Mark, if you ever do that again, there'll be consequences.
I will kill you."
I will kill you, he says.
Yeah.
And then, a couple chapters pass, more hijinks, more fun.
We see Caitlin.
We see Caitlin.
Best girl.
Katie just being incredibly weird and paranoid. She believes in every conspiracy theory under the sun. We'll get back to Katie.
Yeah.
She comes up later.
Yeah.
And she says, "Hey, Pasquello, you're stupid and I hate you. But if the world were to end, I would help you.
Here's a note.
Here's a note. Open this if the world ends."
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Ooh.
Woo!
Shots.
Shots! That one goes out to Lil Jon. Shots, 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 shots.
Yep.
Um,
So, of course, the world does end, but first, what happens to Mark?
But first, Ellie's getting sick of Mark's shit and pushes him to push. She sets him up to relapse into his old ways. And he does.
Spectacularly.
Spectacularly. 3 times the length of any of his previous rants. It is beautiful, it is disgusting, it is horrible. It involves mentions of bananas and chocolate and syrup, many foods, things moving in ways that they should not. The man is self-mutilating in his own thoughts. I'm talking, again, G.G. Allen levels of disgust.
We're talking like ripping his dick off level.
Like, the man is willing to actually do horrendous bodily harm to himself.
Yeah, we're talking like one lunatic, one ice pick level of fucked up.
Oh, just awful. And as he says this, he realizes Tubbsy is looming behind him. He turns around, and Tubbsy, I swear to God, puts his fist through Mark's head, with his skull exploding out the back of his head. With the iconic one-liner, "Pow. Gangsta shit." Kills him. Stone dead.
Yeah.
At this point in the comic, there's been a lot of cartoon violence.
Yeah, there's been a lot of things that you get better from.
You know, Ellie and Pasquello brawl all the time and throw each other around, and Pasquello gets kicked in the dick a lot.
This comes up later.
This comes up later.
In multiple ways.
But you think, whatever, this is a joke. No, this is not a joke. Mark is on the floor of the school hallway in a pool of blood, dead. Corpsed, ruined, and Tubbsy is arrested and goes to jail.
As one does for, punching somebody's skull out their
When
head.
you punch someone's skull out your head, you go to jail for first-degree murder.
Yes, this happens.
This is the first time that I knew this comic was gonna be good.
Yeah. So that just doesn't fucking happen in like El Goon is Shy for Drive Tale. Or
Yeah.
Drive Tales.
By the way, this whole time, Pasquello is gearing up for the talent show.
Which is like the major myth arc of this, is that he wants to do a talent show. That's like his first real burst of self-esteem is that he cannot fuck up in front of a lot of people.
He wants to impress his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He wants to prove himself in front of his dad.
He wants to chill with Allie.
He wants to chill with Ellie. He just wants to be happy, man.
Yeah, he just wants to... That's actually like the whole arc.
He just wants to be okay.
Yeah.
Which, in my mind, puts Pasquello as the quintessential character in a My Chemical Romance music video.
Yes.
Pasquello just wants to be okay.
Yeah.
And his idea for the talent show is, okay, here's how it is. I'm a cool dude.
Yeah.
I've got a hot girlfriend. She's gonna sing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna rap. It's gonna be like Evanescence.
Yeah, for reference, Anarchist is like doing rap hand gestures.
Yeah, I'm throwing the cool hands out here.
Yeah.
I talk with the hands, alright? I cook with the pizza, I talk with the hands.
Yes. And this happens. And on page 100, you just put the comic down and you think, oh.
What the fuck just happened? Because the talent show arrives, Pasquale drops some incredibly hot bars.
Yeah.
Good rhymes, solid bars. If someone could actually put that to a beat, I will give them real money.
Yeah, it's like sizzling.
I'm putting a fucking bounty out to the listeners of Unreal Press. Alright?
And I know you guys rap. You fill up my fucking Discord with it.
Alright? Read It Hurts. Find those Pasquale bars from the talent show arc. Write or commission a beat. Put that shit in audio that I can listen to, and I will give you $20.
Currency to be decided later.
Currency to be decided. 20 of a currency I decide by a D100 chart.
And this guy has dice. But yeah.
I've got the dice.
Unfortunately, Pasquale's bars do not save him.
Pasquale's bars aren't the true fire at the talent show.
Because
Aurora steps up,
she sings, and the world ends.
and that is not a euphemism. Everyone dies.
That's what the chapter is called.
Everyone dies.
That's actually a different chapter, in which everyone does not, in fact, die. But it's a different,
Well, everyone does die in that chapter eventually.
Yeah, like everyone important.
Yeah, like, what? Annie's dad gets away.
Yeah.
And then dies in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, it's like, Tubbsy goes out like a boss. Allie dies.
Mm-hmm.
Pasquale survives, sort of.
Yeah, but when Aurora sings, the grounds crack open, demons crawl out of everywhere, people get zombified.
Giant pandas,
giant
aliens.
Pandas tear down the Great Wall of China, the Eiffel
Snake
Tower explodes, demons arrive. Tubbsy gets stolen by tentacle monsters and ripped limb from limb.
Obtuse Angelo Trianglini is just there.
He is incredibly disappointed in Pasquale for bringing the end of the world about and dies with a scowl on his face.
Yep. Goes to heaven, too.
Goes to heaven. We'll get to the rules of heaven, because the reason people go to heaven in this universe are different from what you might expect.
Yes.
There's lore to this.
This isn't like Christian rules heaven.
No.
This isn't even Islam rules heaven.
Let's get this out of the way now.
Yeah.
In order to... There's no way to get into heaven and it hurts. There's only ways to go to hell. And if you don't go to hell, you go to heaven. If you're a man, you go to hell if you touch your dick ever.
Ever. Doesn't count no matter what.
If you're pissing, you're going... And you touch your dick, you go to hell.
Yep.
I don't make the rules, that's just how it is. And if you're a woman, you go to hell if you touch sunlight.
As you know, one does.
Right, so...
Whiskey Band and Hellbound.
By the time the Hell arc rolls around, all the major characters are in Hell.
Yes.
Except for, obviously, Mr. Trianglini.
And the Magma Spider.
Yes. Because the Magma Spider has never seen sunlight.
It's a subterranean life form.
And Mr. Trianglini obviously doesn't touch his dick when he pisses. That's gay.
Yeah. He just watches porn when he works because he likes the jackhammer,
Yeah. He doesn't jack off to that. That's gay.
Yeah.
Touching dick, that's gay.
Yeah, man. No, that's woman shit.
I don't do that. That's gay.
He's like the only man in heaven, surrounded in a pile of dead angels.
Yeah. Bizarre creature. But the world ends, and this is where you think, oh, this comic took a very sudden and bizarre left turn.
If it ended there, it would be hilarious.
If it ended there, it would be actually the best comic of all time.
Like, Co would lose their fucking shit.
But it is revealed Aurora is a being of pure energy sent by the universe to be Pasquale's girlfriend.
A literal wife.
A literal celestial ordained, universal government mandated wife.
This outranks God at this point.
Yeah, the very entropic forces of chaos and order have decided this will be your girlfriend.
And he breaks up with her.
And he breaks up with her because she just killed everyone in the world.
And Caitlin's boobs are bigger.
And Katie does have bigger boobs, that's true.
Yeah.
But Aurora's still cute.
Yeah, she hangs around. She goes for this semi-independent
character. She takes it
character.
very well.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things I love It Hurts for. Pasquale has an ex, and he is friends with her.
Yeah, they're people.
They are good friends. They love each other very much. But Pasquale loves his girlfriend Katie more. By the way, spoilers again. After the apocalypse, Pasquello hooks up with Katie, who survived because all of her conspiracy shit was true, and she had a secure bunker to live in.
Which you forgot to turn on the electricity.
She forgot to turn on the electricity, but that's okay because it was very well furnished because, of course, her dad is head of the Turtleneck Commission.
That always gets me. Like, I forget that every time because I look back on it and I'm like, no, LA, you were drunk. There was not the Turtleneck Commission.
The Turtleneck Commission is a shadowy order of incredibly powerful people in charge of running the world and also producing all turtlenecks on the planet.
Do they even run the world? Was that just not like a byproduct of turtleneck production?
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Like they had people in extreme positions of power, mostly by providing them good quality turtleneck.
And these people just happened to wear turtlenecks beforehand and were invited to the organization.
And also some of them were actual turtles.
Yes.
Which is what sets up the Space Rhino arc.
That is like the worst torture ever. And like people, they talk about, the Brazen Bull or the Catherine Wheel on my personal coat of arms, because I'm based. And, they talk about, have you ever heard about crucifixion? Like, yes, I studied theology.
And who hasn't heard of crucifixion?
It's like, who was crucified? Jesus of Nazareth. It's on the cross and everything.
It's like the thing that the whole religion that a large portion of the world subscribes to is based on for some reason.
And what does everyone else get? Like the Hindus get the Om, the Buddhists get the wheel.
The wheel is cooler than crucifixion, I maintain.
The wheel, I like the wheel.
Because, like, the crucifixion kind of reinforces the idea that Christianity is a blood cult.
Yes, and now I would be, like, okay with this aesthetically if it was, but it's not.
But they deny it.
Look, if we did the whole Christianity thing, but Christianity was actually what was in the Ghost and Powerwolf music videos?
If it was actually Ghost, Powerwolf, and blood sacrifice.
So Ghost and Powerwolf.
Yeah, but more so. I'm talking corn levels of blood sacrifice.
That would be a pretty fun religion.
I think people would. The thing is, it already is.
Yes,
but they hide it behind mission trips
and
charity.
The Vatican has the snake room. What do they do in the snake room? They don't do fuck all in the snake room.
They have a snake room.
Look, you have this.
They're definitely doing something in the snake room.
There's not just the Catholics, because the Catholics get a deserved bad rap. But look, I'm talking about like the Orthodox. You ever seen an Orthodox priest? Do you know how you see an Orthodox priest if he isn't wearing the robes? Look for the most scaly /B looking person in any crowd of Eastern Europeans.
Yeah, there's two kinds of Orthodox priests. There's the mystic types with the robes.
Yes.
And they're used hot dog salesmen.
It's like the guys who are arrested for public indecency.
They will sell you toilet paper out of your own ass.
Just give them a counterfeit watch and a 4x4. This man is a Georgian priest.
Already, right there, enlightened, in the name of God, give me your money.
And Protestants, well, that speaks for itself.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but the best Protestant was Martin Luther, and the rest of you are just cosplaying.
I mean, MLK was okay.
Yeah,
but he was also Martin Luther.
He was Anglican, but he was also Martin Luther, exactly.
Yes, anyway.
All the good ones were Martin Luther.
But I digress. The torture. It's not, the Space Rhino is not crucified, because why don't you fill that in why we're talking about Space Rhinos?
So, a lot of stuff happens after the world ends. It is revealed to us all that Pasquello is in fact a cyborg.
Yes.
Created by his father, so that even should the world end, he will still live in eternal suffering, because his dad hates him that much.
As one does.
Ellie survives by becoming a zombie.
King of the zombies. From Elvis.
Yeah, after, like, a lot of stuff, she dethrones Elvis in an awesome fight and becomes king of the zombies. And takes in a zombie wolf pup named Poop.
And do we mention this is also a harem comic, but it's weirdly wholesome?
Yeah, like, Pasquello runs into a snake demon named Trish. With that many S's every time her name is mentioned.
Yes.
Who he defeats, and he falls in love with him. Because that's how demons work.
And, like, it's not a Sonichu reference. But it
could be.
It's like, if you squint.
But also there was that one Christmas special where she was a Sonic shoe.
Yeah, it's like Trish is canonically a boyfriend-free girl.
Yes. And also, Cyborg Pasquale is incredibly powerful
Yeah.
and basically takes over what's left of the world.
And frogs his mother to death.
Also, his mom arrives. She's awesome.
Because, like, the whole arc of Pasquale falls in love is not, Aurora.
It's his mom.
And then the second arc, which is 3 chapters once Pasquale learns this, is Pasquale falls out of love.
Yeah, he meets his mom, who he doesn't know is his mom yet. She's just a badass raider lady.
Yeah.
And he thinks she's really hot. Because she is. She's pretty hot.
Jenny is a waifu. Not meta pick, but
she's got like the bionic eye, and she's hard and rough.
Yeah.
And she swears as much as Pasquale, and has bars like Pasquale.
Yes.
He definitely got the bars from his mom.
Yeah.
They finally show down in a rap battle. After he realizes he's his mom, and he was perving on his mom, he hates himself. She tries to kill him and Aurora multiple times. Because she's one of those, like, lawful evil, the ends justify the means kind of people.
Yeah, one of those people who think they're the protagonist, but they're not actually.
She is very clearly the antagonist in all the stories she takes part in.
Yes.
She arrives, she tries to kill Pasquale and all of his friends, and then acts as a victim when they beat the shit out of her.
Yep.
And finally, they have a awesome rap battle. Pasquale is disarmed by his own cyborg anatomy. And then Mr. Triangolini, obtuse Angelo from beyond the grave, hits them with a just as planned. Top hat over his eyes. You really think I didn't see this coming? From beyond the grave, Trojan horses his own wife to death.
With an asshole laser.
Yes. Doesn't she also go to heaven?
No, she invades heaven.
That's right.
Because Satan, who's also the Fonz.
By the way, Satan is constantly advising Pasquale. He arrives, he tells him what's up. He's the Fonz, he's got an awesome jacket and haircut.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Satan. And this is the part where you start to think, is Pasquale the bad guy?
I mean, yes, but he's not the antagonist.
Especially after he sends in sleeper agents to another high school to corrode their government from the inside.
And the government is run by the principal, who is a
awful person.
It's like the principal is one of those characters where you're reading it and you think, actually, no.
Joke, right?
This guy's just fucked up.
Yeah, he's just a psychopath.
It's not even funny.
He's like every Walking Dead villain put together.
Yeah.
And the whole high school invasion arc is a huge Walking Dead reference.
Having never actually consumed Walking Dead media, I was just impressed on like how weird it was. Because it was referencing something, I just had no idea what.
Yeah, throughout, if you actually know The Walking Dead, you'll start to see it. And you'll see that Gobulatula, like myself and many people, has a very low opinion of The Walking Dead's writing.
Yeah, I prefer Z-Nation.
That's okay as well. I don't really engage with much zombie media besides Zombieland and Warm Bodies.
Yeah, it's like I didn't like Z-Nation. Like, objectively, it wasn't good after the first season.
And you ever seen #Survive?
No.
It's a Korean zombie flick.
I saw it on Netflix. I'll pirate it eventually.
And Kingdom, another Korean zombie flick.
And that was the Middle Ages one.
Yeah, which is awesome. If anyone here has Netflix and is looking for a good horror, action, period drama, mystery, think medieval Resident Evil in Korea, watch Kingdom. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You'll like it.
And so, the high school. Because we're still getting to the space rhinos.
Yes. So Pasquale takes over the world.
Yes.
He also starts dressing like Billy Ray from Green Day.
The world at this point is about the size of New Jersey, but that's not the point.
He takes over his little corner of the world.
Yes.
Because the rest of the world isn't worth taking over.
Yeah, it's like, shut up.
He's also wearing his little black button-up and his red tie and being very emo because he just murdered his own mother.
Yeah.
And Ellie is king of the zombies and has also found an infinite chicken fry chef.
Yeah.
And a little goblin creature.
Yeah.
Who is the only thing keeping the fry cook alive.
Who later, at the highway to hell, just decides upon self-annihilation.
We love him.
Yeah, P-Pops was a bro.
P-Plops is a bro. Um, Katie is working on rebuilding the world as the scion of the Turtleneck Confederation would. Trish is enslaving every demon she comes across. And all of the civilian characters that have been rescued are having their own little arcs, and they're okay.
Yeah, it's like you notice when they die, but you don't miss them.
They're not a big deal. They're fun.
Yeah.
They add a lot of depth to the other characters that are around, but they're not that important.
Yeah, they have their moment in the spotlight, then they fuck off.
But they're still, like, when they die, there's still consequences because there's still a human being being killed.
Yeah, it's like stray gunshots. You think, oh shit.
Like, Pasquello fears an ambush on his girlfriend while she's asleep, so he sets up a spring-loaded battle axe in her doorway, which horribly maims a father of 3.
Yes.
He then spends the next 10 chapters weekend at Bernieing the man.
It's like everything in It Hurts has incredibly high stakes, but also absolutely no stakes whatsoever.
But it's all played for laughs.
Yeah.
Like, if someone actually figured out that Pasquello was doing this, that they would hate him.
Yes.
But it's also played for funnies.
Because Pasquello just has the power to admit he just capped a nigger and walk off.
He's not a good person.
He doesn't.
So Pasquello takes over the world and has a little high school dance in his stack of schools. Yet he steals every school in America and stacks them on top of each other in a tower of doom.
As one does.
As one does. His girlfriend rebuilds the entire internet for him.
Yes.
And downloads all of it onto a single drive, which Trish then absorbs.
Which does wonders for her character.
Turning her into a Renamon Sonichu thing.
It's like, if you can't kill the character, that's something new.
Internet Trish is hot, I'll say it.
That onesie, man. There's somebody about somebody in a onesie.
Ooh. And things are good. Things are okay. And then the space rhinos arrive saying, hey, we've detected turtles on this planet. We hate turtles. We're going to explode the planet. We hate you.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
They destroy the world. They Death Star the planet. Ellie and Katie are incredibly smart and have turned the high school tower into a rocket, which gets them into space.
This does not save them.
The space rhinos break into the rocket and explode it from the inside.
They kill Aurora with a fly swatter. It's one of those again.
They say, oh, it's one of these things again. Unmake Aurora.
Yep.
Pasquello is the only one that survives because he's a cyborg, and they kill him effortlessly. And surprise, surprise, everyone goes to hell.
Which is, I think, personally the high point of the comic.
And the hell arc begins.
Because the hell arc is all the fun, slice life hijinks from the first bit. With the ridiculous stakes from the new stuff and the new characters.
Yeah, it's amazing. They all arrive on the highway to hell, and the usher says, all right, you can go forward along the highway, and you'll arrive in hell, or you can walk backwards into the darkness, and you will cease to exist and be erased from all memory. And the only character that does this is Peeplops, the little chicken gremlin, who says, all right, bye, and then interjects into the dialogue several times to shout, I can feel myself falling apart! I can feel my atoms picking themselves one by one! Everyone going, shut the fuck up, Peeplops! Yep. Nobody asked you!
And you know what? The Hellfire also does this, which is the best joke of the entire comic.
Yes.
Where Pasquallo is just wandering around hell, which bears a startling resemblance to downtown Cape Town.
Right? I thought that was weird too.
It's like it's somehow Cape Town, Hillbrow, and Tbilisi at the same time.
I don't think Gobulatula has ever been to South Africa, but he caught the vibes very well.
It's like, I just thought, this isn't hellish. This is just Benoni.
This is just home.
Like, I live like this.
A dude named Jacques lives right around that corner.
Yes. He's been on the podcast.
Yeah, we know Jacques.
Not for our benefit.
Not to anyone's benefit, of course.
No.
Jacques fucking sucks.
But anyway. So, Pasquallo meets this little guy next to a really big guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask, well, why did you get sent to hell? And the little guy says, well, it's the fault of bigamy. And then bigamy, the big guy is destroyed in the torrent of hellfire and erased from existence.
And everyone forgets he ever existed.
Yes.
And this happens to several characters, except Pasquello remembers.
Yes, which is kind of weird because he remembers Tubbsy.
Yeah.
Because Tubbsy gets capped.
Tubbsy is reincarnated as the gate guard of hell.
Yes.
And Poop, who died during the world arc,
Yes.
is reincarnated in hell as Tubbsy's guard dog.
Yes.
A giant, awesome hell wolf. And Allie has her boyfriend again.
Yeah,
Allie and Tubbsy hooked up in the early arcs just before the talent show.
Yes.
And their relationship is amazing and wholesome, and I love them.
Yes. It's like, somehow, despite being a stereotype played entirely straight and a lolly Casca, Allie is actually a good character.
I mean, I love her because she is the autistic stereotype. She's incapable of saying I love you. She just says, ha ha ha, poop.
Yeah.
And Tubbsy gets it. He says, poop you too.
Yep.
And it's wholesome, and I love them.
Yeah, man, it's a vibe.
But Tubbsy is murdered by a horrifying, unidentified shadow creature, and everyone forgets him.
Yep.
Except Pasquello, who is mortified by this. His symptoms start to act up again. His depression is back because things are going very bad, and he starts to fray the relationships of everyone around him.
Yep.
Things are at an all-time low. And it is at this point that Satan arrives. Again.
Yes.
For the last time, he says, hey, Pasquello, listen, man. You're not special. You don't have some great destiny. You're not the chosen one. Why do you remember everything when nobody else does? I don't know. It's because you're you. It's just the thing you do. You're different, but that doesn't make you special.
Yeah.
What does make you special is your actions. You want to go after that shit? By the way, that horrible shadow creature was your mom.
Oh, yes. It was Jenny Penguin.
She arrived in hell, fucked shit up, went to the lowest circle because she was that evil, broke out and has murdered her way up and is now invading heaven. You can stop her if you can try.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm gonna piss on your face because I think that much of you, and I'm gonna let you have my jacket.
And this is the Fawn's jacket.
It's a great leather jacket.
Yeah.
And Pascal says, you know what? Fuck it. You're right, Satan. I'm gonna wipe the piss off my face. I'm gonna take your bitching jacket. I'm going to apologize in spirit to all of my friends that I've hurt with the things I say when I lash out. And I'm gonna fix this. He marches his way up to heaven, past a legion of murdered angels. And he finds, hey, it's Dad.
Yeah.
We talked about how he got in heaven. We don't need to go over that again.
But Pasquallo is done with it.
Dad gives a little one of his berets, and Pasquallo hits him with the page.
Yeah.
He is done with it. He says, fuck you, Dad. You've always been abusive. I hate you. You're a shitty person. You're a bad scientist. I hate you. You pushed the only woman who has ever loved you away because you are too focused on your own ego to ever actually do anything meaningful in your life besides stroke your own dick without even touching it. Fuck you. And then he kicks him in the balls.
And he eats his hat.
And he eats his top hat, the iconic part of his character.
The giant purple hat.
He still has his dolphin shirt, but the hat was what counts.
Gisangelo is defeated after that.
Yes. He doesn't admit it, but he is.
Yep.
Pasquallo then tells off his mom. Basically saves existence.
Meets God.
Meets God.
God is a femboy.
God is hot. God says, well, Satan gave you a gift, I will as well. There's more to this than saving heaven and hell. You've done that, but
yeah.
The space rhinos are still out there, and there is more that you want to learn.
Yes.
There's still things out there, there's answers you need.
Go out there. It's at the end of time.
It's at
the end of the universe.
Yeah, God gives him the ticket.
Yes.
At the end of the universe, you'll have one question to the creator of all things.
Yes.
And so Pasquallo starts going. God gives him his dick.
As one does.
As one does. And Pasquallo starts going. For thousands of years. Millions of years. Billions.
Somehow turns into the Borg cube during all of this.
Well, first he finds the space rhinos.
And that's where the torture comes. I told you to get back to it.
So Pasquallo is cool because as time passes he gets more powerful.
Yes.
It is only really measurable in the thousands and millions of years, but he's got all the time in the world. By the time he finds space rhinos, it has been thousands of years, and he is powerful enough to crush them.
Yes.
He destroys their entire civilization because he finds them on another planet killing more turtles because of their weird hate boner for turtles.
Yep.
Destroys their entire civilization, but leaves one alive as a severed head. Traps him in the confines of a little glass bubble in the depths of space where he will never be found ever, because space is big.
Yeah, you think, though, it's a long walk down to the pharmacist. No, that's got nothing on space, man.
And says, I'm not cruel. I will leave you with some entertainment. There is an MP3 player in this bubble with one song. Once you start, it will not stop. That song is Chumbawamba's iconic classic, I Get Knocked Down. The catch is, it's in 230 kbps. The crunchiest sound quality known to man.
Yeah, man.
And after the rhino turns it on, he's got to live with that now, because Pasquale made him immortal.
Yeah.
That's it. That's eternity now.
GG.
You can't kill yourself. You're just a head.
Yep. No one will find you.
Well done. This is what you get.
Yep. But imagine like how shit it would be to float through space and not press that button. That's almost as bad as pressing the button.
That's almost as bad as pressing the button, but not worse.
No.
And so Pasquale travels through time and space over billions and trillions of years, becoming a gigantic mass of techno-organic matter.
Yep.
Until he reaches the end of the universe. Not the physical, spatial end of the universe, but the moment in time when all things stop.
Yes.
The final star has burned out. Time ceases to matter, as all that is left is the space in between.
Yep.
And he arrives back in his normal little cyborg boy form at the theater at the end of all things, where Chaos and Order are playing a show. And he gets one request. They're going to remake the universe, because this is a cycle. Things start, things happen, things end, and then they start again.
As they do.
And he says, what the fuck, man? Like, Aurora, I get it now. You are Order. You created Aurora for me, because I wish to be happy. But if she is happy, bad things happen.
Yep.
That's the way they are. That's why the world ended. It wasn't because she sang. It was because she was truly happy at that moment to be with me.
Yes.
But she is unmade and she can never be made again. If the universe is remade, it has to be made with the same parameters. There will be an Allison, there will be a Tubbsy, there will be a Pasquale. There cannot be an Aurora. She was made for this universe.
Yep.
And cannot be remade. And so Pasquale makes the choice. He gives up his own remaking so that Aurora can live a life. And also remakes the world to be a Japanese high school anime, because he's a massive weeb.
And please forgive me, despite Gobble Teal's stress gets a different continuity, actually is that comic.
Yes.
It is a high school anime.
But not stereotypical.
Yeah.
It only becomes that way when Pasquale recreates the universe.
Yes.
And gives his place in the world to Aurora,
Yep.
who's remade as Pasquale. And that is the final ending of It Hurts. And let me tell you, it hurts.
Yeah.
I had a lump in my throat when I got to the ending, when Pasquale arrived at the theater. By the time he started talking, I knew what he was going to do.
Yep.
And, man,
It hurts.
it hurts.
But it's a good hurt.
But it's a good hurt. I'm not a huge sucker for self-sacrifice in media. I understand why people like it. I get the nobility of, giving something up for the good of others, of laying down your life for what matters, all of that noble shtick, all the
Yep.
cliches, but that. Giving up your own subjective existence, throwing down what really matters, saying, hey, I get it. I could go another round. I wouldn't know that I'm going another round, but I could go another round on the Great Wheel.
Yep.
and I've got the ticket. I'm making the rules. I could make everything good for everyone. Or I could do that, but I could give someone else that ride. And Pasquello makes that choice. I don't think I could.
No. And the thing is, with that, he's earned it.
He's earned it.
Yeah.
He has walked that lonely road. He says so himself. Because if there's one thing It Hurts does more than satisfying character arcs, more than good endings, more than obscenity, cuss words, and cartoon violence, It Hurts does good musical references.
That it does.
We hit Green Day. We hit Gin Blossoms.
We hit MCR a couple of times.
We hit MCR a couple times. How often do you see Gin Blossoms
Man,
reference ever?
It Hurts introduced me to Gin Blossoms.
That is hella valid. And in that same comic as a Gin Blossoms reference, there's a Pixies reference.
Really, it's the whole fucking spectrum.
So, It Hurts. That is It Hurts, in summary.
And yeah, it is a webcomic I would highly recommend. Like, a lot of these things, I take the piss out of it, but honestly, apart from the art at the beginning, which is charming in its own way, there isn't that much to rag on It Hurts for.
And the art does get insanely good by the time of the Hell arc and the Pasquello in Space arc.
Yeah.
When I say a gigantic, massive techno-organic flesh, it is lovingly rendered.
It's got
in the
detail.
art. It is beautiful.
Yeah, like we're reaching not laptop wallpaper art, but like monitor wallpaper art by the end.
Definitely. I would get some of the stills from It Hurts tattooed on me.
Based.
Hell yeah.
I think on that note, well, Anarchist, it's been great having you on.
Thanks for having me, LA.
Well, then welcome. And so, until next time, this has been the Unreal Press Podcast. Cheers.
I may have gone too far in a few places.